Right, whoosh, we're back. Squeeze the Neck podcast, and we're back at Royal Resistance again with another new mate of mine, Mattia Florena. Thanks for doing this, bro. So, as I say, back again. I was here the other day with your pal Bart the Grappler, who told me, unfortunately, England's losing him and he's disappearing, and you're going tomorrow as well, so I had to get here last minute to do it. But before we get into anything, mate, tell us where we are. We mentioned it on the episode with Bart, but what's this place about?
Yeah, so this is Royal Resistance. It's been home of mechanical grappling for a year now. New coaches are coming to cover some classes as we're leaving soon. So yeah, we're based in Kickbrook. So if you're local,
that's it.
Why not?
As I said on the other episode, it's a bad joke, but I'll say it again anyway. Right side of the river, wrong side of London. Do whatever you want. But yeah, man. So from Sicily. Are you from Sicily? Yeah. You're going home to Sicily, obviously. Yeah. Where did your journey start in Jiu Jitsu, mate? Was you at home or over here?
No. I started over there.
Yeah.
About 8 years ago, about-ish. I started with MMA first.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I've done some MMA fights.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, just I felt that jiu-jitsu was more for me. You know what I mean? So like more of like the way I would like to perform like grappling.
Yeah.
So it's more. I felt it was more for me, and yeah, so I decided to just drop MMA and then get into jiu-jitsu.
I got you. Did you start in MMA as a whole, or was there a specific start to it?
No, I've done some boxing when I was young, like
nice.
13, 14, and then when I had like a shoulder injury, so I was off for like 2 years.
Oh, right,
2 or 3
okay.
years. And then I started MMA when I was 19.
You said when you was young. You're still young, bro. How old are you?
I'm 30.
30. Hey, listen, that's young for anyone watching. That's a young man.
But still young, yeah?
He's still young, yeah. So what brought you to England? Was it grappling brought you here?
Yeah. So I was doing all right in jiu-jitsu over there, but the level wasn't that great.
Right.
So actually I was interested in going like visiting around, but the decision, the right decision I made was when I've been to ADCC trials in 2018, and I was seeing like the higher level grapplers, like how they grappled. I was like, okay, I can't do this. So I had no idea what was going on, especially with the leg locks.
Yeah, right.
Like, it was like very, very new to me. So I got stuck with leg locks for like a year. I was just doing leg locks. And then I visited London in 2019, 10 Planet with Jamie.
Shout out 10 Planet, yeah. 10 Planet. I was over there on Saturday, great place, yeah.
And then I've been there for 3 years.
Nice.
So I was training with Jamie and the guys. I've been there for a week, like maybe, and I thought it was good. Yeah, I can do well. It was a blue belt. Yeah, I know, let's see. Then I got fucked up badly. Literally rammed.
We've all got stories like that, bro, haven't we? Huh?
Yeah, and then, so I said, I've got 2 options. Go back home or I'll stay. So I went back home, packed up the stuff, came back in August.
Nice.
I've been to London in May, and then, just summertime, then pack all the stuff up, London.
Wow. It's a big commitment, isn't it, for a young man like to come over?
Yeah, but I think, especially when you want to commit into something, all in.
What was your life like in Sicily? What was you doing for work and stuff?
I was at university. I was studying graphics.
Not as fun as Jiu Jitsu.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I was doing all right, but I was like 6 months here, like to get graduated, and said, no.
Really?
Yeah. Fuck that. I just want to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So I had all that fight with my parents. And, no, you got to do this, you stay here. So no, I got to go.
Yeah, especially with that little time left to go, innit? I mean, what was the situation with MMA when you started? Was you looking at a career in that?
Yeah. I was very, very, like, I still have MMA, don't get me wrong. So I'm still into it in terms of, I'm teaching classes here as well. So I've done some amateur fights.
Yeah.
I was really liking it, and the thing that jiu-jitsu absorbed me so much in terms of the grappling. And they say, okay, I'm gonna drop the striking for a while and just do jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And then I'll just.
Common, isn't it? A lot of people do that. A lot of people
it's like mutual sports, but different.
Yeah, exactly. One complements the other, but it's I think jiu-jitsu is one of them sports that like just sucks you in, doesn't it? You know what I mean? We really get into it. But if you go back to sort of like, how old was you when you made the choice that you was jiu-jitsu only?
probably 24, 23.
Yeah. So young enough to sort of pursue a career
Yeah.
in MMA if you wanted to. So you dropped that out. But like, what was the situation with, like you said, family weren't happy when you was going
No,
out?
definitely not.
I was going to say,
No, yeah.
was that a big issue? Was that like
Because it was quite an investment. Like,
yeah, of course.
But when I came back from that ADCC trials, you know when something clicks.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, no, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I was just unhappy going to the uni, doing my stuff there. So it's not for me.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm coming from a photographer's background.
Mm-hmm.
So my family from my dad's side has been photographers for ages. Like,
Right. So was that like pressure?
yeah,
You were supposed
they
to be a
started in
photographer.
1939. So with my granddad. So it was quite upset. It's
Yeah.
okay, anyway, stay here.
Yeah.
No, so it's not for me.
Hey, what can you do? Huh? Sometimes, what's the saying? There's a saying in there. Sometimes to make an omelette, you got to break some eggs or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you know, if you was to sort of go from Sicily to UK, like you said, it was a big difference. Was the training straight away? I mean, as well as it being a different level, was it also like you committed full time over here?
Yeah, I was training hard there.
Yeah.
But in terms of training methods, obviously knowledge of the coaches, training partners, that environment, especially when you're a like young blue belt and you still young in the sport, you have to get yourself involved in like a very, very deep like training room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Blue belt's the time, isn't it? When it's like you really start to commit, isn't it? Or you don't.
Yeah. So I was trying to understand more in terms of how the sport worked.
Yeah.
Because I was again still young. I was all right as a blue belt, but not like nowadays blue belts. So
Yeah.
I had loads of like holes in my game. I was doing all right, but I had to get more. For example, on my gut retention, my passing, my stand-up game. I was just doing leg locks.
Yeah, right. And what was training like over there before you came here? Like in terms of how often and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I was training, especially when I was doing MMA fights. I was training really, really hard in terms of hours and like committing a lot.
Yeah.
I was training like 2-3 times a day, doing pads, Jiu Jitsu, technique, S&C, and all the stuff. But just the quality of the training itself,
Yeah.
it wasn't that great.
Right.
So it was alright. If you want to be a hobbyist, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to, like, do you know what I mean? So I had to. The first time I've been to 10 Planet there, I said, okay, this is a completely different thing.
And was there a 10th Planet back home, or was it just
No,
Jiu Jitsu and stuff?
I was. Yeah, most of the times. 3 times a week doing gi, and then just twice a week MMA.
I got
some
you.
grappling.
Right. So when
I
you
was
came,
the only one with no gi. Everyone was in the gi. Now I want to train no gi.
Oh, you want to train okay? Yeah, I get you. I've been there myself actually at certain periods. But when you first came over here and you started doing like 10th Planet and whatnot, what's your training schedule look like during the week? Are you training like multiple times a day and all that kind of stuff?
So I used to train multiple times a day, or like every day, Monday to Sunday or Monday to Saturday, like depending on the schedule. But yeah, it was, especially when I was like blue or purple, I was going every class to try to suck everything off the coaches. You know what I mean?
What was you doing when you come over here for work? Was you working or was you just committing?
Yeah. So I started. The first job. Yeah, I started as a waiter, runner.
Nice, yeah.
So I was cycling, 10 Planet, cycling back home, Central London, back home tomorrow, same thing.
That's good, isn't it? Like, that's
Yeah,
proper.
I was
making
super
the
fit.
journey. Yeah, that's cool
I was
though,
super
to
fit.
make the journey come real, isn't it? Because one of the things that I was sitting here when we were speaking with Bart, he was talking about like training and whatnot, like how he went through a period, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bart, but I think you said something along the line of like he stopped lifting for a certain period because of work and whatever, and then he realised he didn't want to lift, he didn't need to lift.
Yeah, he had
just
to
wanted
lift.
train.
You
Exactly.
always argue about this. I'm like, you should do some work. No,
Yeah,
no.
because he's training now. He says he just turns up and spars.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And I think like listening to him talk, I think it makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? But like, what's your training like? What do you do?
At the moment, I've been training with Jed Hugh and Lisa Mission Grappling guys for 2 years.
Yeah.
And most of the times, I normally lift once or twice a week. I should do it more, especially for my weight class. But yeah, it's sparring every day. It's positional sparring.
Nice.
Normal rounds, depending on obviously on the competition we're aiming for. like ADCC rounds, IBJJF rounds. So most of the schedule is just sparring.
Yeah. And how often do you train jiu-jitsu?
Monday to Friday, Saturday lifting, and once a week.
Yeah. Would you do jiu-jitsu every day, like during the week? Do you do it once or twice?
Depending on sometimes I train here with the guys.
Yeah.
So I train like every morning, and then most of the times I spar in the evening with the guys.
That's nice, isn't it? That's cool. And what's a lifting session look like for you? Because that's very up in the air.
I'll do like very basic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like better lifting, benching, curls.
I got you. And do you follow a diet or any of that shit, or like?
Not recently, to be honest.
Yeah.
But normally, I've always been on like not like super strict diet, but like trying to not eat like junk food. And
I got you. You touched on your weight as well. What weight do you compete at?
At the moment, I walk around 100.
Do you? Are you that big? Oh wow.
100, yeah.
Big guy, yeah.
I don't look like I'm thick.
Yeah, you're thick. Yeah. Because we're probably similar height, right? But you're a big guy. But what weight division do you compete at? Do you compete at 100?
For the 2024, I was doing I competed at ADCC trials under 99. I've done some super fights in like 100.
Wow.
Last ADCC I've done was under 99. ADCC like British Open 99. UK Open 99. Yeah.
Shit, man.
I used to be like 80.
Yeah.
So when I first started jiu-jitsu in London here, and I was 10 plan, I was like 79, 81, 82.
Really? Yeah. And was that a conscious effort to get bigger?
I was actually my choice because I was getting injured a lot. I was so obsessed with abs, like big performance physique. I said, I want abs, I want veins everywhere. But I was getting injured every other week, especially ribs. Fucking ribs every fucking week. Mm-hmm. So I had to stop training, saying, okay.
That's a bitch of an injury as well, by the way. The ribs is a bitch of an injury. Man, I've had 3 or 4 times I've had that, and that's a fucking killer. But go on, sorry, mate, carry on.
Yeah, so I said, okay, I got like lift more, eat more, so I could train more. Like most of the times, by the end of the week, sometimes the training was so tough. Like Thursday, Friday, I was so overtrained, and still going to the gym, but do like 2-3 rounds. I said, no, I'll push through the sessions, but sometimes it was so overtrained. I say, okay, guys, no, I'm here, but I do like every other round. I do like 7 light rounds, but can't push. So I get more calories. I was super tight with the calories. Yeah, so that's nice.
Well, it's funny you say that. I'm similar. I'm about 80-ish kilos now, and I've got quite sore. You can't see it, but I'm taped up for anyone. But when we turned up, I said, give me a fist bump instead of a handshake. My fucking elbow hurt. So I'm kind of thinking, man, maybe I'll tease the idea of getting a bit bigger and seeing it. But from seeing you and seeing how good you feel, maybe that's something I should look into.
Yeah, I mean, it played like a very big difference in terms of my my game as well. Because I've always been like got player. Maybe. So I was doing a lot of leg locks. But now I'm say like more well-rounded, like balanced. I can do some like stand-up, top. So I can play top, bottom, wrestling. It's still leg locks maybe my A game and top game. But so when I was like 80, I was mainly bottom player. Right. Obviously, I didn't know how to play well on top. But I was quite like good at getting my legs in, like inverting more like with leg locks now. It played a lot of big difference in terms of the style as well.
And how do you feel? Has it helped your recovery? Did it do what you wanted it to do? In terms
and
of
I'm not getting injured that often. Still some injuries, but I can. Do you know what I mean? Okay, it's injury. Okay, I'm pissed off, but okay, this is normal. When I was like 80, it was like every other week. I was like, I can't. How do I deal with this?
It was funny because again, going back to Bart, who was on this mat with, he said the same. He said he doesn't really get injured now, and I was like, fuck, maybe I got to come train with you guys. Like, fucking, it seems like because
I had like a very bad injury, knee injury. Like,
you did?
No.
Bart did. We spoke about it. He had the meniscus taken out. I think he said.
But
right?
See, like in my opinion, every like problem, obviously you have to deal with it, and you can get some good outcome out of it.
Right.
So in his case, he's very like good at like pin defending now.
Right.
Like escapes, and I'm trying to get into more in like underhook guards, like dogfight, coming up, top pressure. Some things that when I was like 80, I then like was walking a lot.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, you're essentially 20 kilos heavier, right? That's got to impact your game massively.
When I got down a bit now, 95 maybe.
Yeah.
But still this kind of weight class.
Yeah. And you're going to stay there, I assume. You're taking it on. Yeah. Because are you a fan of Jiu Jitsu, like watching tapes and stuff? Because some people really love it and some people go, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, there's some moments when I can feel I can study more and like absorb more in terms of like watching like DVDs or like tapes. But I think you can improve either way.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what,
It's a very personal thing.
It is, that's exactly it.
People, in my opinion, learn in different ways.
Yeah.
If you watch, there's loads of champions that don't watch any videos.
No, well, that's 100% what I was going to say to you about. Like, if I watch a, what's the word I'm looking for, instructional, and I sit there for too long, I'm like...
You get bored,
And I'm not taking it in, I'm just like losing it. But whereas if you used to show me, say, I don't know, a 10, 15 second clip, and I watch it 10 times in a row, that works better for me. And then I go, boom, let's go train, you know? And drilling on the mat, it's like Bart was saying, nah, I just spar essentially. And I was like, fuck, I like this, bro. I think.
Yeah, like for example, like recently, I haven't watched any DVDs.
Right.
For probably like 4 or 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
Just in the training room, adjust, like little mistakes.
Just figure it out.
Find ways to improve.
Yep.
In like different kind of training partners and reactions.
Right.
That works better for me at the moment, but I'm planning to go back into studying a little bit more.
You are, yeah.
Maybe I'm watch more I've been watching more matches maybe than just studying like instructions like DVDs.
Yeah.
That works maybe better for me.
Are you one of them that, like, when ADCC or CJI now comes around, are you into that? Are you like watching all the matches and stuff? Yeah. Because that was an interesting, obviously, I've been speaking about this a lot on here, but like with the rules of CJI and stuff. I watched highlights, so I've kind of got maybe a bit of a blinker view. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it seemed like it was a fun thing, man. Did you like it, or are you more of like a pure ADCC guy?
I like it. When Jiu Jitsu, I like it. That's it. So, rule set, so like it's different kind of rule set, different kind of structures and ideas.
Right.
But I like both. So when Jiu Jitsu, I love watching it.
Yeah, I got you. And MMA fan as well?
Yeah.
Good, we'll come back to that later because I've got loads of questions. I keep asking people the same questions, but fuck it, that's what we do. So with the thing that comes to mind with me with the CJI especially is the rule change is different, right? Yeah. Obviously they had a different environment, the pit and whatever. But before I ask anything, like, what do you think about like rule sets in Jiu-Jitsu? Have you got a particular favourite?
I normally prefer sub only.
Yep.
As long as the fight is like judged at the end in a fair way. Okay. In terms of actions, like submission attempts, engaging. Because a lot of people, I've been to a lot of sub-only shows, especially super fights, and there's a lot of people trying not to get subbed.
Right.
So, and I've been also to some kind of stages when if there's no sub, no win, and a lot of people, if they feel like threatened by you, then you better in terms of technique, they just disengage, walk away, not trying to...
Yeah, turn into shut down and don't want to,
And it's quite boring.
Yeah.
So I think that judges, like the organization has to like deal with this. So if you want to do like sub-only show, make like really, really active both players.
Yep.
In terms of intentions, pace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
because here's one thing I've said a few times, and I acknowledge there's problems with it too, it's not as easy as that, but I've been at shows where it's just referee or judge's decision. So they're not scoring points. You know, if you pass, they look at it like a fight, basically, right? And like, again, there's obviously problems with that, but also at the same time, it's fucking exciting to watch, bro. Like, if there's a 5-minute match and they just go, these guys are going for it. Do you know what I mean? Because they're not stalling or anything like that. What do you think about that? Is that worth looking at?
Yeah, I mean, again, like every kind of show, mainly sub only. But if the rule set is quite flow in terms of the pace and actions, I like watching every kind of rule set.
Yeah, I'm big on that because I relate that to MMA as well. I'm like the 10-point must system. I'm sort of going, just score it as a fight, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, you know, one championship, right? Yeah. I was at one championship event and they score the fight as a whole. So 3 rounds or whatever, it's just a whole fight. And I think there's something to that, you know what I mean? Because it seems like it entices the fighters to just have a fight and not game plan so much. Because I know MMA is a bit different to Jiu-Jitsu, but if I'm fighting you and me and you have a close we don't have a close first round, I'm very on top, there's a tendency for me to go, right, okay, cool, that's one in the bank, right? I can pick and poke and like play the game a little bit. Whereas I think if you score it as a fight as a whole, and especially if you score the end rounds a bit heavier, changes things a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it has to be, in my opinion, again, like, for example, like CGI got this kind of rounds thing.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting as well. So it's more like an MMA or boxing
Yeah.
orientation, but at the same time, in my opinion, that fight should be like judged at the end in terms of pace, action, like technique, who's showing more fighting.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Because there's a lot of guys trying to move around because they like big, strong, trying to move around. Do kind like a bit of like loud.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to play loud, but
Yeah.
they're actually doing like nothing.
Yeah, making a lot of movements, but not really
just-
much
yeah,
effectiveness.
he's active.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, like fans and referees, they're kind of biased maybe a little bit, and they say, the guy's winning because he's on top. He's moving a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing with the referees, especially saying it like if the referee, maybe not so much in grappling, but in MMA, they don't know what they're looking at. So like you can fool the referee, right? If I jump around and I jab you and I throw a fancy kick, oh, you must be winning. It's like, yeah, but not necessarily. Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of that. But I just think the rules, like that's what kind of missed out for me because I didn't watch CGI. As I said, I've seen highlights and I've seen like flying shit and like had fun watching it. But I guess I didn't really see the impact of the rounds on it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas ADCC has obviously run different. But have you got a preference on them two or whatever?
No, I don't really.
Yeah. Do you think CGI is a good thing? Because I've spoken to a few people that think CGI is like dirty.
It's been a bit of scrap between
Right.
Jones, ADCC. So in terms of, I'm not really interested in kind of that, like problems amongst all of them.
Yeah.
I just like watching the Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah. And I'm assuming from talking to you, you want to compete at these events anyway, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You want to be there and take them over. So it is what it is. But you said you've been Jiu Jitsu, what, 8 years now?
Yeah, kind of.
So you're heavy duty into it. And when did you sort of take it on as like full time and like this is what you're doing? Was it when you came to London?
Yeah, when I came to London.
Yeah. And do you now, what's your plans going back home to Sicily, man?
Same
because
thing.
just keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Because is the scene different out there? Because I'm assuming there's not as many people that want to train.
So the kind of scenario we have in Sicily at the moment is the sport is growing.
Right.
So 6 years ago, there would been probably like 2-3 good guys in my kind of area, and that's it. There's more now. So as the sport is growing, obviously, like, it's been 6 years since I've been here in London. So the sport is growing quickly. So there's more people training, young guys as well. So we have more training partners now, and with the knowledge I have as a brown belt now, which is different between like brown and blue in terms of discovering the sport.
Yeah.
Obviously, depending on the athlete. But I feel have more knowledge on like overall in terms of techniques, strategies, how to like play like a match, what to do, what not to do. The main concepts of jiu-jitsu is different now, so I can walk around it.
Yeah.
Now, so we can like build something because we're moving with Bart in the same area.
Of course, yeah.
So it's going to be easy for us to like, still have like super high level in specific spots. For example, like leg locks, like super tight.
Yeah.
You know, adjustments.
Of course, yeah.
And always the kind of physicality that young guys have, because you need it as well.
When you get young guys involved in it, I think that's a game changer, right? Because it's not like meeting a 35-year-old man with a job, because they train for sort of even if it's not a hobby and they want to take it serious, they've got other responsibilities, right? Whereas if you take it up and you're 18, they don't give a shit, right? You just want to train all the time.
Yeah.
So they elevate the sport because also they're like a YouTube generation, right? Not that I'm trying to sound like a dinosaur or anything, like I'm old, but like they're like a YouTube generation, right? So they're on it constantly. And if you listen to these guys, like I've spoke to guys, I forget the guy's name, so otherwise I'd mention him, but he's 17, he's on the mat, he comes to a class I teach, and he's like, ask you a million questions. And he's a white belt, and some of the positions he asked me about, I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, and he's like on it, and he studies all the time. And I think when you got people like that, give them 3, 4, 5 years in your gym, like the whole sport elevates.
I think most of the job is done by the individual.
Right.
So you can have the best coach in the world.
Yep.
You can train with Gordon Ryan, John Dana. I think you can get to some point where you're forced to adapt to a certain level. Beyond that point, I think it's very, very personal, like individual job to go to smash through that point and go, okay, no, I want to get more like into jiu-jitsu and level up more. So
I think also, sorry to cut you off, but I think also like an element of jiu-jitsu, a lot of it's feeling it too, right? Because one thing I see as well, and not so much necessarily in jiu-jitsu, but certainly in other sports I've been a part of, like boxing was my first sport and stuff like that, there's definitely an element of over-coaching. Do you know what I mean? Like they coach you too much, whereas there should be an element of like, let him figure it out a little bit and give him tips along the way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, especially as a coach now here, there's different kind of physicalities people training, like coming from different kind of scenarios, like different kind of lives, ages, interests. Like, so you can't coach anyone, like everyone the same way.
Yeah.
So I see, okay, there's like 20-year-old guy, super fit, he wants to play top. So obviously we get some like basic stuff. So you have to, even if you're strong, you have to be able to play in bottom, escape pins, and then you pick up your own pace and style during your career.
Right.
But we have to coach like people in different way,
Yeah.
depending on their brain, how their brain work, and physical shape as well, like in terms of how they build.
Yeah, of course.
You
Do you feel like style's a natural thing? Like as you get to a certain point, you have to coach people for them and not just show them
100%.
everything under the
100%.
sun. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing like, we've all been in class where there's two guys that weigh the same. One's 6'4" and one's 5'2", built like a tank. They're going to do things a bit different, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I feel like jiu-jitsu is obviously open-minded, right? Whereas like other sports, maybe it's not so much. Like boxing is always, and it sounds like I'm shitting on boxing. I love boxing, but like sometimes you get coached in boxing. It's like, no, that's wrong. That's not the way to do it. Whereas jiu-jitsu, you go in classes.
You can't train people the same way.
You can't, right?
So that's why, especially here, because we have like still like a small group, like 12, 15 guys training here. So I'm trying to have a look at everyone during the role.
Right.
And okay, I know that this guy, he can't do the same thing as the other guy.
Right.
So okay, go do this, focus more on this. So there's people they're built for, they love being on top, wrestling. Some people like to play guard.
Yeah.
There's a guy, like very, very young, like 15, in MMA. You can't what to do, just pull guard in MMA. Stand up,
Yes,
don't do it, don't do it in MMA, bro. Don't do it in MMA. So yeah, it's kind of different. So everyone has a different way of learning, and different push to something.
Right.
So for example, I started as a guard player, and then I had to go more into the top. I forced myself doing more top. I didn't like playing top. I was okay, I'll do bottom leg locks, that's it. But now I know the importance of being on top, doing this kind, because jiu-jitsu is evolving.
Yeah, of course.
So you can't do the same thing like you have to be very, very like following the pace of jiu-jitsu, like every week, every month is like evolving. So you have to stay with it.
Yeah, I agree with that massively. And again, I was talking to our friend Freddie Sykes earlier. We was talking about he's obviously been in jiu-jitsu a lot longer than us, but he was talking about certain things and how the game's evolved and blah blah. And also, it's like, I don't know about yourself, but when I started jiu-jitsu, it was 2014, I think, and then like if I went on a mat, it was like, and there was a blue belt with like 2 stripes on him. It was a bit like, oh, fucking hell, watch this guy.
Like unicorns.
Do you know what I'm saying? This guy fucking I mean, my instructor was a black belt, but other than that, it was like, fucking hell, this guy's a blue belt. And there was a drop in once, was a brown belt, and I was like, Jesus fucking, it was like a big deal. I'm exaggerating a bit. It wasn't like I was fucking like in awe of them. But that's what I was getting at. It's a different game now. Like if you come in any day, you'll go on the mat.
Like when I started, like everyone was a white belt.
Right.
There were probably 2 blue belts and 1 purple belt.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, when I went to competitions, I was like, oh, this guy's a purple belt.
Right, he's serious.
Yeah, he's a unicorn. He's a Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was almost like they're not human, right? It was like he's a bit special, you know.
Like, especially like years ago, I probably seen black belts doing like crazy stuff and say, oh wow, he's a black belt.
Well, black belt.
I can't even get close to him. You know?
Right, I remember with my instructor at the time, who was a black belt, and I just started. Alex, your name, Jesus Christ, I forgot his name. Shout out Al, but he's I remember rolling with him the first time, and I was almost like, I don't even want to touch him because it's like he's like a fucking, something different. But when you started, did you have a black belt instructor where you was from?
No.
No, yeah.
No. My instructor was a white belt, and then he got graded into blue belt, and that he went, but everyone was a white belt.
That's interesting, isn't it? It's such a different game now. Could you imagine that now? It doesn't happen, does it? Like, because as I say, I'm repeating it a little bit, but like when you go onto mats now, there's every colour going, isn't it? Most of the time, do you know what I mean?
There's a lot of different kind of blue belts now. They can be like, you can get the 20-year-old guy who's training for fun, blue belt, it's all right, and then you pick up the next guy, blue belt, like 22, 25, and he's like very, very hard roll.
Yeah, yeah.
So they literally evolving a lot as Jiu Jitsu does, and then they get so much like better in a short period of time.
And also I've found as well, you roll with people sometimes like they're a blue belt overall, but they've got like a specific leg lock or an arm bar that's like black belt level, and you're like, you're having a good roll, and then all of a sudden they start throwing that up, and you're like, oh, I've got to be on my game here, you know?
Yeah, especially like young blue pulpers now, they can be, that the kind of gap is more in terms of experience. Obviously there's different cases, obviously there's different scenarios, but the gap, in my opinion, is more on the on the strategy, on the how you play your game in the specific competition, it's a specific round.
Right.
And because I know pulpers, they can easily be black belts, but still they have the kind of, they're not as mature as the 30 years old, 35 years old black belt.
Yeah.
So they can, in terms of skill, they might be better than them, but in terms of how they play their game and the strategy on the competition, you might play the difference.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Do you ever put a gi on by any chance?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, the first 2 years, I've done the first 2 years in the gi.
Oh, you do? Because I've only seen pictures of you no gi, so I assumed you was complete.
That's
it now. Yeah. Join the club, bro. No, I put the gi on sometimes, but yeah, I'm much more of a no gi guy. But with training, again, my conversation earlier with Freddie, we was talking about like he trains a lot in the gi, no gi, and how different are they? What do you think before I give you like sort of anything, my opinion wise?
I think question is so deep.
Yep.
We can talk about for like ages.
Yep.
So
that's why I asked, bro.
They're both fun in terms of how like the athletes they play the game. I just prefer no-gi because maybe it's more dynamic. Maybe because of the leg locks, I got into it like earlier.
Right.
Like 6-7 years ago. I just got like interested in leg locks so quickly. But I still like the gi. The gi is more. It can be more static in terms of pace, like it's low in terms of pace, but still have a lot of like grips, kind of different variation with the lapel, like collars. So I think that, again, very, very close sports, but still like a bit slightly different disciplines.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's the same sport, but it's two different branches.
Yeah. Do you feel there's any benefit in training one for the other one, if that makes sense?
Again, I've been training the gi for a while now, but I'll do it like normally 2-3 times a year when I go like visit the guys in Sicily. I can adapt myself very well, so maybe yes.
Yeah.
But I think if your specific game is no gi, just focus more on no gi.
Yeah.
That's for example, our MMA guys, they normally train like wrestling and grappling. I can't see any bigger benefit in wearing the gi, doing some stuff in the gi, and leaving the no gi session like on the side. So if you have the opportunity to do both, why not?
Yeah.
But if you have to choose a MMA guy or a no gi guy, today I have 3 hours. Should I train the gi or no gi? Or I have ADCC, I'll train no gi.
Yeah,
this is what I will do.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's different like people training gi and no gi because they compete both. So maybe I think it's still very personal. Yeah, I can see arguments for both, to be honest with you. I feel like it's a tricky question. I don't think there's one answer, and I think again, like we said, personality might come into that as well. You know what I mean? But like, so if you look at MMA now, right, with grappling style, like you've obviously got John Jones up there, who's training with like Gordon Ryan, right? So if you see some of the videos, what do you think of the training they're doing? Is that genuine training, or are they kind of, in terms of what Gordon Ryan's showing, like to him? Is that genuine, or is that just for the cameras, for people? I just seen one video.
Okay.
But John Jones, in my opinion, is, shout out to Dana White, John Jones.
Yeah.
So I think he's like best ever, in my opinion. Alongside Khabib. I think that he was still sharpening the game with Gordon. It just makes it better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting with John Jones. Obviously, Gordon Ryan is one of, if not the greatest of all time, right? He's doing videos with wrestling with, I think his name's Gable Stevenson, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? He was an Olympic gold medalist freestyle wrestling. He's doing videos with him. He's learning spinning back kicks, which he used in his last fight, all that kind of stuff. He's at an age where he's talking about retiring and stuff. But like obviously.
You're talking about Gordon or John Jones?
John Jones.
Oh, John Jones.
Yeah, you're not Gordon. Gordon's
Okay.
young man, right? He looks older, but he's a young man. But John Jones is talking about retiring a lot, right?
Yeah.
So with the sort of Tom Aspinall thing, the Pereira thing, have you got much eyes on that, or are you not involved that much?
I've been following that kind of the dispute between this, especially on the Instagram. But I think John Jones has got nothing to prove at the moment.
Right.
He should get one more fight with Tom Aspinall, maybe. I still think John Jones will get the win.
Yep.
Because he's so like well-rounded that he has no holes in his game at all.
And he just keeps showing again and again and again, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
But if he doesn't fight that fight, I think he will as well, right? But if he doesn't, what does that do? Does that mess his legacy a little bit, do you think? No.
I think at some point you've done so much for the sport.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people always like complaining and talking, oh, he should fight, Khabib, he's not the guy because he could have fought at welterweight. He could have fought Brock Lesnar. He could have fought like, you know what I mean? So it's like people always complaining about something. But in my opinion, if you're really, really into it and you can understand the game, you can clearly see that these guys, like for example, Khabib, John Jones, other kind of champions, GSP, they have nothing to prove.
Yeah.
Like, they don't, their legacy, and that's it. So even if John Jones loses to Tom Aspinall, still got.
I agree. No, I agree. The only thing I'd say with that is like, because there'll always be one more to fight, right? You can't go on forever. He's going to be 60 one day. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't go forever. But the only thing I'd say with the Tom Aspinall one is where he's got the interim belt. It's like you kind of got to fight him now. And
I'd love to see it.
And there's such a big thing on how to fight. To me, I think it'd do his legacy more damage not fighting him than if he fought him and lost. Do you know what I mean? If he lost, he's still the GOAT. If he doesn't fight him, he's the GOAT anyway, right? But I think if he doesn't fight him, there's always going to be that element of, he didn't want to fight that guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas if he loses, not that I think he's that old, but he's in his late 30s, people will go, oh, he's past his prime.
At this point, I would love to see, I would love to watch like the fight between them. Again, if he loses, that's, in my opinion, still greatest of all time.
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. Khabib's another one I'd mention as well. I think Khabib's because
there are people talking about Khabib. Just wrestling is. The thing is not just the legacy itself. Is because I love to watch for fun.
Yep.
And I love to watch, obviously, as I'm coaching here as well. The technical side of the fight, in terms of how they able to play their game and force someone else to do what they want.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you love to see like a scrap between, I don't know, like Diaz, McGregor. Obviously, huge respect to them. But at the same time, when like a person like Khabib, for example, is so effective that I've never seen him bleeding.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So you see that like the fighter is so efficient that I say, okay, he literally like mastering the sport. So he's literally forcing the person, and that's it.
Yeah.
So you get the win. A lot of people complain, decision, you can't strike. And I don't agree with it still, but I can understand from like farm boy point of view.
Yep.
But in terms of being longevity in the sport, still like performing, still training, like in terms of like Khabib.
Yep.
And and you build your legacy. You don't bleed. You just force everyone to do what you want. Smash on the ground.
I tell you what though, to be honest with you, when you say like people moan about his striking or whatever, firstly, he's got a better striking than I think people give him credit for anyway. But in a lot of ways, I think that makes him even more great. Because it's like people knew what was coming. They knew the grappling's the issue, and they still couldn't do shit about it. He never had a close fight. I mean, he had one close one-ish with Gleison Tebow back in the day, but other than that, he dominated everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just go like, to me, in a way, that makes him even better because he's like, if you know what's like John Jones as an example, Demetrius Johnson's another one. They got so many tools that you don't really know what's coming, and they beat you with this, that, and the other. Whereas again, Khabib, he ain't going to throw a spinning head kick. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. You know what's coming, mate. You can't stop him.
Exactly. And it's a shame he's not around more. But obviously, his training partner and that Islam's fighting. Well, this will come out after, but he's fighting this weekend. Have you got eyes on UFC this weekend?
Makhachev and Who's fighting?
He's fighting Arman Tarzukian, I think I've said his name right. And the second fight is Usman Nurmagomedov versus Merab Devashvili. So, fucking, I probably butchered some of them names, bro. I tried. But I think they're great fights, man. Great fights, both of them. You got any opinions on them or what?
So hard, because I think Makhachev had like a very, very close one with Arman in the previous fight.
I think it was his Arman's debut in the UFC, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
I think it was Arman's debut, yeah.
So I have like very, very close fight. Arman is very, very good, and they got like similar style. They can strike, but they like clinch a lot, get to the ground. So it's a bit like quite a scrap.
Yeah.
And Umar and Merab is like same thing.
That's a great fight, man.
So yeah, I've seen like Dagestani winning because of like that kind of more. Do you know, have like, okay, he's got like just a little click more.
Yeah.
But it can go either way, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't be surprised anyway. Either of them fighters go. The thing is with both of them fights, the problem, it's not a problem because they can fight again, obviously, right? But the issue, I don't see anyone else in either of those divisions beating either of those. Do you know what I'm saying? I think them two are the top of the top, and then it's like, what do you do from there? Do they start changing divisions?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think Islam is a big guy. He can go up. But I think Arman, he looks like he's the right size for lightweight, right? If you see him next to each other, I think for him to go up might be a bit harder.
Actually, like Arman and Merab, they're both quite small for their division.
I think they're short, stocky guys, innit? Do you know what I mean? So it's a different thing. But I think, like, did you watch Merab's last one with Sean O'Malley?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. That was like, I thought he'd win that fight. I'm not trying to be clever after the fact. I thought he'd win that fight, but I didn't think it'd be like that. I thought it'd be tougher than that. Like, I thought he was brilliant.
The thing, is when especially in a close space, like the cage, when you can't move like beyond a certain point, so you have the cage, and you have to be close to someone to hit the wrestler.
Yeah.
I think if you're wrestling here and the other guy's wrestling here, most of the times the wrestler will come up victorious.
It counts a lot more, yeah, for sure. It was a weird fight as well, wasn't it? He kept kissing him at one point. He stopped early on a round. The whole thing was quite bizarre. But
and O'Malley's like very, very dangerous in the striking. But once they get very, very close to like high level wrestler, especially when the wrestler gets on top, they're so hard to counter, like disengage again. They stay like on you like pit bulls.
Yeah, and especially with that big height difference, right? Obviously, it's an advantage in the outside and striking for Sean. But when you're up close, man, it's hard to deal with a short, stocky man like that, isn't it?
It's for like the short guys, easier to shoot.
For sure. You're right. And his legs, right? His fucking shoulders were like by his hips, so it was like just grabbed him. You know what I mean? And he seemed like every time he decided to take him down, it was one of them where it was like Sean got the message where it was like, I can't stop it. So that makes you hesitant with the striking. The whole thing was tough. But they're talking about Sean had like a rib injury or something, and I think. But
I don't
know if that'd do him any. I mean, I don't know.
I think every fight is a different story. So
I think you've always got an injury as well in a sport like that, right?
Yeah, I still think it's someone like again like Merab, who's got like very, very high wrestling.
Yeah,
he can do that same thing again.
I think so.
In my opinion.
I think so.
Obviously, the striker's got that kind of advantage, can catch you, and then you got to sleep.
Yeah.
If not, that might do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And who's the guy in the UFC right now? Is it still John Jones or is he on the slide, do you think?
Or the main character?
No, who's the best pound for pound? Is it still John or is he a little bit past it?
Islam.
You think Islam? Yeah. I think Islam's got a shout, man. I tell you, but I think Merab's got a shout as well, man. The way he dealt with that last one. I think. Sorry, not Merab. Sorry, the other Georgian featherweight champion. Jesus Christ, Ilia Topuria.
Oh, Ilia, yeah.
I'm doing well with names today, and I'm forgetting names like terrible.
Yeah, Ilia's great as well.
Yeah, I think he might be pound for pound the one.
He's also like well-rounded.
Yeah.
In terms of striking, he knocked Max Holloway out.
Sparked him as well, yeah.
So it was like so unreal to see because I believe, if I'm not wrong, like Max never got knocked out in his career.
No, never. That was the first.
Bro.
Yeah, that was
never
the first
knocked out
one.
in the UFC.
Yeah.
So and he had like very, very, very tough fights in terms of striking versus striking.
Yeah.
So yeah, he is another one, but I think still Islam is top one pound for pound. And then Ilia Pereira is doing great with the striking.
Well, he's the other one up there with the Tom Aspinall situation with John Jones, isn't he? John Jones wants to fight Pereira, and I can kind of see why. But here's my thing with that.
He's more like he's got like more audience behind him.
100%. And I think he's, I don't want to say more dangerous, but you know what I mean? It can go really wrong against him really quick, right? He's not going to grapple John Jones, obviously, but if he catches that motherfucker on the chin, that could be a bad night, you know what I mean? Like his fight with Jamal Hill. Did you watch that one? Where he kind of patted the ref out the way. So what happened was... right? And like, that guy's a problem, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Like that power's a big deal. Yeah, it was like fucking... And also they had a bit of a back and forth in the UFC PI. Have you seen that video? I think that was brilliant. I've mentioned that on here before, so I won't bore people with that again. But what do you think he does against John Jones? Do you think he's got much of a chance, or is that as easy as... Yeah. Because the reason I ask, a lot of people say it and they go, no, John Jones just grab him. And I get that. But it ain't that simple, is it? It ain't that easy.
The thing is, I mean, Pereira on his way to John Jones will just, I think, like do like a proper camp, like versus to put himself against the wrestling side of John Jones.
He has to, right?
But at the same time, we've seen John Jones struggle quite a lot with some like high level strikers like Reyes. So it really depends how it plays out. Because I think John Jones will still get into like a wrestling scenario, taking down, maybe finish him with just ground and pound.
Yeah.
On their feet, I think it's a tough one for John Jones. So he has to really, really be careful and close the distance. So there's, again, in my opinion, John Jones will take the win still, but there's some chances you can get caught with like some heavy shots.
Yeah. See, I'm like you with, I think John Jones is the guy, right? But at the same time,
it won't be as obvious as people. Oh no, he's fucking him up in like 10 seconds.
Not at all. He's a big guy too, and also I think I wouldn't be surprised if any of them beat each other. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I think, like there's ways to beat him, isn't there? Tom Aspinall, I think, is a problem. Every time I see Tom Aspinall fight, I go like, he might do that to everyone. Do you know what I mean? He just runs through people. I had a guy,
very powerful guy.
Yeah, I had Steve Henshaw on his shout out, Big Steve. He's a black belt under Tom Aspinall's dad. And he was talking about like Tom Aspinall when he was young and how special he is. Now, obviously, he might be a bit biased, right? But it's like, listen, when you watch him fight over and over and over again, he keeps running people over. He might do that to John, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
There's some chances here.
Yeah, we got to see that fight, please. We got to see that fight. Don't let him go away without seeing it.
I don't know. It's kind of somehow I want to see John Jones versus Aspinall. The other way around, also John Jones versus Pereira.
I want to see him fight both, mate. I really do. I really want to see him fight.
I don't think it will happen like fight both. I think John Jones got one more fight and then retire.
Do you know the only reason I think we might see both? Because I think John Jones just spoke openly he wants to fight Pereira, right? Now, I think the UFC might make that a sweet deal, like pay him properly for the Aspinall and then you get Pereira. That's my, well, I mean, maybe it's wishful thinking, I don't know.
I would be great.
That's what I want to see, do you know what I mean? I want to see that one because if he goes away and then doesn't fight either of them and Aspinall fights Pereira for the heavyweight belt, it's a great fight. I still want to see it, and Pereira going for the third belt and all that shit.
Yeah, you kind of want to see the fading athlete.
Yeah.
See, okay, I just want to see one more.
Yeah.
And then you can go.
Yeah. And he doesn't look like he's fading either, does he? Do you know what I mean?
John Jones.
John Jones. No. Like his last fight. Do you watch the Stipe one? Like I know Stipe is in his 40s and whatever, but he looked good to me, bro. Like people.
John Jones is so technically above everyone else.
Yeah.
They can like manage everyone in the cage, and he's still so composed and so clinical with his shots. And he's not even in the best like peak performance.
No.
He looks like obviously a big, like muscular guy, but it's not like, oh, this guy is, you know what I mean? Like
he don't look like Ngannou.
No. It's like, it's all right. He does this thing, boom, and then take you down, wrestling, hold you down, can't move, and that's it. So I think his level is still above everyone else's.
I think mentally he's on a level that's like, I think when he gets in there, he's so confident.
He's got that,
he's got that thing, like X Factor, whatever you want to call it, like that fucking thing, man.
Killer instinct as well.
Yeah, but like going back to like obviously training with Gordon Ryan is where I kind of came that from. Yeah. Like in Jiu Jitsu, is he still the best or is he kind of a figurehead at this point? Do you still see him as the best in the world?
No gi?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, still. Yeah, he's not just like.
He's the same thing as John Jones.
Yeah.
I think he'll struggle with some guys, but at the same time, there's again that when there's the clash of styles, I'll see him struggling with like making the person engage,
right,
or forcing the person to take like offensive actions to him.
Yep.
Then just winning.
Right.
Because again, I can beat you, you can beat me, but if we have like a close level and both we can engage, that's where like jiu-jitsu like plays out in terms of our jiu-jitsu, who is the best out there. But in terms of winning, that's different, because in my opinion, being good at jiu-jitsu and being good at winning, that's two different things.
Right. Okay.
So you can win and you have like decent jiu-jitsu, you can still lose and be like much better than the other guy.
Yep.
So there's loads of factors in there, like strategy, game, physical shape, mental shapes, there's lots of things. But yeah, I do still
no, because he has stomach troubles and stuff. Like, is that still a thing? Is that still going on, or is he back? I'm not too up on the competition level thing.
I think he's doing better now.
Yeah.
But it's not. Like, I think it's a chronic issue.
Right.
That he has.
Because you forget how young he is as well, right? How old is he? 29, 30?
He's 29.
Yeah. So 29.
Yeah,
like,
I think 30 this like maybe June.
Maybe this
July.
year, yeah. So, which is young, isn't it, man? Like, for him to do that, because if you see like guys in sports nowadays with like, I'm not talking necessarily steroids. I'm just talking about medical sort of advancements, the right diet, the rest, all the shit people do nowadays. Your mid-30s ain't like what it used to be, is it? Mid-30s is more your prime now versus like back in the day when you was 29, it was like whatever. So like in theory, he's got years left ahead of him, hasn't he? If he wants to continue. But the one that comes to mind is the Nicky Rod, right? He's like a bit of an athletic freak and a specimen and stuff like that. Is he going to catch Gordon Ryan one day, do you think, or what?
Can he win the match?
Yeah.
Maybe yes. Can he beat Gordon in terms of jiu-jitsu skills? No.
No. Okay.
Again, depending on the rule set.
Right.
For example, like ADCC, Nicky Rod does very well because of his wrestling background, and again, it's so pickly, like good in terms of physical shape, being strong and explosive. So obviously, still got like good jiu-jitsu for his weight class.
Yeah.
But he narrows a lot into like his A game. You know what I mean? So he's
he's good at what he's good at, and like what do you mean? He's good at what he's good at, but his game's not that well rounded, or?
For example, I can see Gordon wrestling someone.
Right.
I can see Nicky Rod trying to leg lock someone.
Okay.
So it's obviously they at some point they can do both. Obviously, Nicky Rod has got like a more efficient wrestling maybe than Gordon. But so if you put like Gordon and Nicky Rod in a wrestling scenario, I think Nicky Rod, like maybe like 6, 7, 8 out of 10 he wins. In terms of like jiu-jitsu skills, in terms of how they approach and they actually do jiu-jitsu, I think Gordon like wins 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. He didn't even
so
say 9 out of 10.
Depending on the rule set.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about pure jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
let's say submission only, no time limit, I think there's no way Nicky Rod can win.
Yeah, Gordon will find a way.
ADCC, can Nicky Rod take Gordon down? Yes.
Yeah.
It can be done.
Because of the pace and the like, there's a lot of moving parts there, isn't it? But I think
Nicky Rod is way more explosive and athletic than Gordon.
Yeah. Well, people say that they've trained with him, right? Like, I've never been on a mat with him, obviously, but like he's a real freak specimen.
Nicky Rod.
Yeah, which is a big part of his game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like in terms of you and competing, obviously you said you want to go ADCCs and stuff like that. Is there sort of people you look at that you're looking at that could be in your way at the time, or are you don't think like that? You're more sort of the competition itself.
Like me in ADCC Worlds?
Yeah, as in getting there and sort of, is there people that you'd look at and you go, that's a potential match that I think would be for me?
I normally go like step by step. So in terms of building a game plan for a specific person, I normally look at like the best names in my division and just build the game plan for, okay, I'm going with you, you're a wrestler, so I'm going to play this game. The other guy is a leg lock, I'm going to play this game. So I'm more interested in the competition itself than, I want to fight this guy. Just for the sake of it.
Yeah, I got you.
To be honest, I want like a rematch with the guy I lost to ACC trials, which is the current champion, Mochin.
Okay.
Which is like a very, very close match.
And
I got point score at the end of the match, and I lost the fight. Apart from that, I'm just take anyone.
Yeah.
Never say no to anyone.
Yeah, I got you. And how do you approach competition? Do you turn up on a competition day thinking like worrying about the opponent? Not worrying about the opponent, but like adapting to the opponent type mindset? Or are you like, I'm me, I'll stick it on them and they'll have to deal with me?
I adapt.
You adapt, yeah. And
so if, for example, if I know that you could a specific game, I build my game plan like around your game. You know what I mean? It's not like, I want to be the best everywhere. Yeah, it's nice, like nice feeling, but at the same time, the goal is to beat the guy. Obviously, my main goal is to submit the guy or dominate the guy. I'm not happy just winning by just decision. If that happens, I have to like own the match.
Right.
And then I can be happy to some point. I can't finish anyone. I can't pretend I can finish anyone at the highest level. So if I play out in the same, like in a good direction where I can win and dominate the fight, then that's a good outcome. But yes, I'm trying to get into a weak spot and trying to exploit it too.
Yeah, I got you. And I'm assuming you train year round, right? You're not taking 3 months off here and there. You're always training, right? But when you've got a competition coming up, do you have sort of like a 6-week, 8-week, whatever sort of program where you're in a camp?
No, really. I normally intensify the training.
Yep.
In the 2-3 weeks, like before
just 2 or 3 weeks. That's enough.
Because we normally train hard the whole year.
Yeah.
So there's no. So there's some days I can feel a little bit tired. Just get like every other round. I do like maybe like a leg guy, or just low a little bit. I do like pin escapes. I get my back taken trying to escape. So you can walk. You can do a lot in the training room.
Yeah.
It's not just full steam, go and then try to smash everyone. You can't do that.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, unless you're better at like 120 kilos and everyone else is white belt.
Yeah.
Then you'll be able to train like 6 times a day.
Yeah, of course.
But you can do a lot in the training room.
Yeah.
So we normally train like hard the whole year, and then some like after the competition we take a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Take like an easier week, and then just go back into it.
Yeah. When you spar, do you like to spar? As in, like, you know, some guys come in, they flow roll for a while, but it seems like you sound like you want to just turn up and let's spar properly.
Depending on the competition or the period. For example, like it's been recently, I've been taking a little bit easier now because I got a lot of stuff to do with moving to Italy. So it's been like a tough month now.
Yeah.
Like traveling, packing all the stuff up, sorting things out, errands. So I just took a little bit easier now. But yeah, so I was so stressed like before this the last ADCC. I said, okay, now I got 2 weeks. Let's go, and then have to like in the Christmas holidays chill a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's important for your body too, right? To settle your body and not your body. Obviously, I meant your mind as well. To chill, right? Yeah. To switch off from it, because it's stressful turning up to training and forcing yourself to train, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I don't mean to like train jiu-jitsu because. Yeah, obviously I like the technical aspect of it, but I can't stay without moving for more than 3 days.
Right.
If I don't go to the gym for 3 days, and then I get nervous, and I've got to do something, like gym, whatever, jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
I just go there, scrap.
Yeah.
I feel better after.
Yeah.
Do you know?
After
the session, I feel, oh yes.
Yeah.
Now. And then obviously during the camp, I oh fuck, I don't want to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, fuck jiu-jitsu, I want to sleep.
I want to sleep, play PlayStation all day.
Yeah.
So, training again, oh fuck, let's go. And then, but even that, you have to be like good at building, having, like, not just showing up with a purpose.
Right.
Because if you just show up, I'll just roll. And that makes no sense.
No, you might as well go for a run, really. You're wasting your time in a way.
Exactly, yeah.
You know.
So that's why there's people in 5 years world champions and people in 10 years they
just suck. Yeah, exactly. And it's true. It's a big thing. I think that's a big, and especially speaking on here, speaking to Bart was one of them. Speaking to a lot of people on here, it's a common thing. They kind of, train with a purpose. And like, we've all been there. I'm sure you have too. Where where you just, I'm going to train twice a day, and I'm just going to train hard and blah blah blah. But that ain't the way to do it, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's elements that you have to, of course, you've got to train hard, but just mindlessly turning up twice a day and being sore and not listening because you're tired, that's not the way to do it, is it?
Yeah, it's very, very personal.
Yep.
If I overtrain, I don't perform well, even in the training room. I'm not talking about winning rounds.
Yeah.
Just my mind will stop working,
right.
Stop working well. That can make like silly mistakes. I can get injured. So I normally prefer doing the morning sessions, like hard sessions, and then train here with the guys, like a bit of a lower level, like white belts or blue belts, and train like different stuff.
Yep.
And then lift, and then do my cardio session, like lifting session, and trying to make it like walk around.
Yeah.
But when I'm in the gym, I don't just go there. Oh, okay, I'm gonna grab the guy and just gonna armbar him.
No, right.
So.
Right.
I got, for example, with the ADCC that I done a month ago. I'm in 99 division. I'm gonna last part, big guys. I'm going to open mats. I put myself in bad position, trying to walk a specific game with like bigger guys, and then with if I'm going for a roll with a 70 kilos, purple belt or blue belt, I'm going to do a different thing. I want to play more, for example, like guard retention, trying to be following the quickest guy in the room. So there's different purposes in the training room.
Yeah.
You show up, pick someone up. Okay, what is this guy good at? So what can I get from the round? Okay, so this guy is good at leg locks, so I'm trying to get into leg locks and exchange leg locks. Get good at wrestling, I can exchange them. So it's like different kind of attributes and different kind of outcomes.
Yeah, and it's an intelligent way to train it. It's like, because it's like a professional way to train, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You have to work on what you need to work on versus just turning up and having a tear up all the time, which we've all made mistakes.
It's fun. It's fun. It's good for your body. If you if you're a hobbyist, just go there. Learn something, have fun. Beat feet. That's it. Go home. But if you wanna like do it as a pro in terms of like winning competition, climbing up, you have to be like there's some things that I don't like in the training, like in terms of jiu-jitsu. I have my A game obviously, but I'm well-rounded. Yeah. I know if we're gonna stand up, even if my wrestling is not my A game, but wrestling, that's fine. Back, fine. Arm bars, leg locks, whatever. I know I can do everything because I forced myself to do things I didn't want to do. Yeah. So, for example, like Jamie knows this, but I used to hate the back.
Being on the back or having your back taken?
Both.
But, right, okay.
I got someone in the back, got to chase the back, get into chuck down. I used to hate the back so much. Now, I've got to force myself to learn how to defend, especially defending. Because most of the times, people know, okay, I want to attack. But when you're attacking, you choosing to attack. Right. But when you have to defend, you can't choose to defend. No. So if you get my back, that's it, I got to defend. Yeah, if I take your back, I'll let go and restart again on the feet. There's nothing stopping me. Right. So especially in your defense, you have to be good at getting out of everywhere. It's right, and then you can choose your A game, you can do leg locks, arm bars, whatever. But once it comes to the defense, you have to be like bedrock. No, I got my back taken, I got this. Got my arm trapped, I got this. I'm good here, Well, but mate, this has been a really interesting one. Thank you. I'm definitely going to get out to you and Barton train in Sicily, man, because I think the weather will be better than here as well. And food is better too. We'll figure that out. And weather, definitely weather. You definitely got that one. But before we finish, mate, I always ask you most important question of the day, really. Which football team do you support? Say that again, sorry? Which football team do you support? Oh, I don't watch football. Chelsea's the right answer. Very good. Well done. That's it. Any sponsor or anything you want to shout out, mate? Highland Spring. Shout out Highland Spring. Highland Spring. Row Resistance. Row Resistance. We'll put all the links for you in the description below anyway, mate. But I always finish with a fist up like this, mate. Squeeze the neck. Boom!